Fishy, you want to introduce yourself to everyone, mate? We've got your bio here that you gave me. Fishy Bongwaters, occasional DayZ content creator and resident DayZ fanboy and critic. And I will copy and link to your YouTube into chat for everyone.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Well, I don't know really if there's much more to say. I'm the typical salty Canadian. You might have met me in game. Um, been playing this wonderful game we call DayZ since the mod, and I don't know. Like to make content.
Yep.
You know how it goes with this game, right?
Yeah. You're probably a bit like me, mate, in that I don't I don't do this for money or something like that. I do it for the pure joy of it. Pretty much any money I make, I have to go straight back into whether it be subscription to Adobe Premiere or donations I make to other content servers that I like to play on, and yeah, stuff like that. Have you got the chat popped out, or are you watching the stream so you can see comments from people? Oh,
Yeah, I'm good.
yep. It is midnight here in Australia, Irish. How you doing, by the way? But yeah, it's a passion. It's DayZ is. I've never played a game like DayZ. Never played it. It's absolutely fucking amazing. And my creative juice streaming I find a lot easier, but YouTube, as you would know, mate, doing videos yourself, you put a lot of work into them sometimes, and my creative juices ebb and flow. At the moment, thanks to the After Dark server, which is one of the topics for tonight, I am loving it. I pumped out 4 videos alone this week. I think number 5 pops out tomorrow. I'm working on number 6. It's just, yeah,
Wow, that's definitely a good thing.
it is. It is. I know my videos are shit compared to the likes of the Running Man and Fubar Bundy and stuff like that, but I still love doing them because I think I do slightly different content to a lot of people. A lot of people just do 360 no scope, squad wipe, shit stuff, whereas mine's more. I focus more on the interaction. Even this new series that I'm loving, they're probably some of my favorite videos. The Never Give Up Hope ones, where it's finding servers like After Dark or DayZ Down Under, push you to survive against the server itself.
Right, and that's where the game kind of thrives. PvP is fun. And it's the same with my content. I mean, I don't do it for money. None of it's monetized. It's all just for fun. Um, but the game really shines when you let all of the aspects come out. And if you just strictly stick to the PvP side, some of it's a little bit, I don't know, rusty. It would be maybe a term I would throw at it, but you're missing so much. You're glossing over so
Definitely.
much of a game. But nothing really gives you that adrenaline rush like this game. And
No.
I've been playing this for 8 years, and even
Yeah.
now, if I loaded it up, maybe an hour of running around and looting up, but you're gonna have some moments that are gonna give you a heart attack.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. There's nothing like it. Um, just as you said, it's yeah. I could be the biggest bitch and moan about when I get KOS'd, but there's still that part of me that goes, you can just go from, and I'm really bad for it, as coach in chat calls me Lord of the Horde. I start to get into the zone where I'm just thinking about the next piece of loot I'm going to find, and then bang, you are dead, or bang, someone's shot and they missed, and your heart just ends up in your throat, and oh, no
Right.
game gives
I
it to
mean,
you.
this game turns into cooking pot camp stove simulator. That's what I all I do when I play this game is I try to
Yep.
get that combination, my loot, and it always ends up with me turning my computer off and going to bed because I'm dead.
Oh, mate, we've got so much in common, mate. We have got so much in common because that's generally how most of my runs end up, with me dead and just all the awesome loot that I found ending up in the hands of someone who won't give it the same. Yeah, they'll probably look at half the stuff I've got on me. Like at the moment, I've got a gassed bottle and a cooking top, and I can't find a cooking pot anywhere. But yeah, I'm carrying it on me because I know I'm going to need it. That means I don't have to make a fire. I can just carry that, and it's storage space. And they probably look at half the shit I've got and go, "What is this fucking idiot doing?"
Yep, exactly. But,
Yeah.
but on the flip side to that, you're gonna run into the guys that have all of their inventory slots full of rifles, and they're wondering why
Yep.
why they can only run for 5 feet before they collapse over.
Unless, of course, they're playing on those lovely infinite stamina servers.
Time and place, time and place. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna crap on people for doing that, but it's definitely. I've waited a long time for stamina to become an important part of the game,
Yes.
and it's there, and I am not gonna cut it out.
And actually, I'll save it for when we start talking about the After Dark server. I don't know if any other servers are doing it, but After Dark are doing something quite interesting with servers. But yeah, so let's hit the first topic, mate. And this is one that you actually brought up. No, it was Ace. Ace, sorry, who's not here tonight, sadly. What do you know about it? The working helicopter in DayZ. There was apparently a post in the DayZ standalone community group that I remember. There was someone saying that if anyone has a working helicopter on their server, they've stolen the code from the DayZ expansion mod team.
That's a bold statement,
Very
but it
bold.
is it's likely true. But so I do have programming background for my job,
Yep.
um, and it's very likely for different groups working on a similar problem to come to a similar solution, but without actually seeing the code. I couldn't tell you. I don't know the scripting language um, for DayZ, the infusion engine that they have. So you're kind of constrained to whatever you can do with that language. And it sounds like you have a lot of options. So if a bunch of groups all at the same time come out with essentially the same code, it's likely that they've lifted it off somebody else.
Yep.
I have no idea if they're encrypting the code. I don't think they can. So as soon as they put it up for purchase, someone can, I think, open it up and take a look. Correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody in the comments can correct me, that would be great.
Because that I was really hoping Ben from BWAF was going to be here tonight because I know apparently they've got working choppers on the BWAF servers now. So I was really hoping for his input on this topic as well. Sadly, because he hasn't made it, we're missing a bit of the information from it. But um, I do agree with you. It's there's so many cases where people come up with the same ideas and they might come at it from a slightly different approach, but yeah, it's a big statement because I do recall I should have been a bit more prepared. And oh no, there it is. We've got the picture here. Thankfully, oh, there you go. Geez, I'm a boomer, aren't I?
Oh,
It was
there you
me who
go.
brought the bloody topic up. I saw the post in the standalone community group, and I screenshotted it and posted it in here. So if you ever feel like posting pictures of helicopters on your buddy's server because, oh my god, helicopters, let me remind you that there's a 99.99999% chance that the code that drives these engine physics was stolen from the guys over at the expansion mod. It was not written from scratch by your buddy. Sorry to burst your bubble. From now on, admins should wake up and any helicopter pics or videos should instantly be removed unless they are promotional videos by streamers taken directly on the expansion test services. I said what I said, no need to argue with me. And Rob, the creator of the group, commented, if I knew before that this was really the case, shame. I'll do my best to remove these. So, he's addressing it, but Brimstone made a comment saying, I only know a small amount about this topic. I saw that there was a mod posted on the DayZ mod workshop that had a copyright takedown notice or something. And so I'm guessing by that, this picture, that it was stolen from the expansion guys. I saw in the comments of the mod with the takedown notice, they were refuting the claim that they had other things claimed in the past. They were found not guilty, so to speak. So it's going to be interesting to see the outcome of the situation. Ace linked to post in Reddit. Let's open that, see what that says.
Oh, the Reddit rabbit hole.
Oh, mate, I don't mind Reddit, but yeah, geez, they can be savage, can't they? So what's this? Quick ride in first publicly available helicopter in DayZ. See what this? I haven't watched this yet.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it on a Russian trader.
Let me go check.
Wait, dude, I didn't understand you. The
Ja, wir gehen
Helikopter
gucken,
ist zu laut.
entspann dich.
Anyone's gonna jump in?
Der Helikopter ist aus, den solltest du eigentlich gar nicht mehr hören.
Okay, ich höre den irgendwie. Warte,
Ja,
ich mach mal Relog.
Wir
Ich
gehen kurz
relogge mal
nachgucken, ob's... Ja, bis gleich. Ich bleib hier, warte auf dich.
Jo, ich danke dir.
Hey, yo, dude, you can go for a ride, but bring that heli back to us, you know?
Yeah, sure. Just a quick circle.
What's your name?
David.
Let me see. I need to check. David, okay. Well, have fun, David.
Thank you.
So is this
You gonna jump
model
into him?
stolen
Yeah.
too, or is it just the physics?
Yeah, it's working.
Oh,
That's horrible.
yeah. Oh, that's terrible. I mean, like, yes, it is working. Coach, now one of the guys in chat is an actual chopper pilot. Coach, how do you rate this helicopter, mate? How many times would they have crashed it by now, buddy? A 1,000 times. Had you watched this before, Fishy?
This is I wouldn't want to see the server performance when someone's flying this thing.
Yeah, that's a good point, mate.
Testfahrt hattet, weil muss man sich kurz dran
Can't
gewöhnen.
pedal, my eyes hurt. Coach, horrible.
Wie ist denn das mit dem Fliegen? Weil ich würde auch gerne fliegen. Was ist denn, wenn ich abstürze? Explodiert der oder verliere ich dann Leben oder wie ist das?
Nee, weder noch, also es kann sein, dass der Heli kaputt geht, dass er danach nicht mehr nutzbar ist, aber du solltest überleben und der Server sollte auch nicht crashen.
Okay,
Man, this
ich
thing
würd
is
das
just
gerne
lovely.
auch mal gleich probieren.
It's
Lovely.
So nice, right?
Ja, dann machen wir gleich mal eine
Better than
neue.
what you'd expect.
Kommst
Interesting.
du hier zu mir zu meinem nach oben, ne?
Hell of a lot better, yeah.
So, say that again, dude.
Thanks for the joyride. Much appreciated.
Hey, no worries at all, dude. No worries at all. You take it easy.
Oh my!
So is this the legit chopper or the stolen one?
I don't know. This is a comment from a month ago. The Apache was more realistic in Desert Combat mod. What are they saying here? Model is the low LOD model from Arma 2 that renders when the player is far from the object for whatever reason, but the server owner says this mod, so the model might. Oh, geez. Yeah, okay, they're referring to 420. I think with that.
Ah,
420.
mystery solved.
But 420, that was we had that explained in the first. Did you watch the first episode?
I've got it in my queue, my friend. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, did you miss out, mate? One of the guys in my chat, who's a regular in here, Dewan, was one of the admins with the 420 community.
I believe that's actually why I bookmarked it. 'Cause you posted it. I've got it saved.
Yeah, it was a very, very fascinating. Sadly, he hasn't been able to come back yet because he's a uni student. But I really want to get him back because there's so many questions that we all had about the 420 gaming community. You know, there were those who were in the 420 gaming community and played on it. And then there were the elitists like myself and many others who were never going to have anything to do with 420. No, they're naughty boys.
Right? We actually, I mean, I had some affiliation with some different gaming groups over the years, and we
Yep.
typically always had rules where if you brought them up,
Yeah.
out, delete the comment, and if you keep doing it, you're out. Because no, we want to protect Bohemia's assets. Yeah, okay.
The ACE is added here. Guys selling a helicopter mod likely stolen from expansion and violating Bohemia Interactive licensing for $350. See, last week we kind of touched on this as well. I really don't have an issue with people making money from mods, but when there's question marks over, yeah, because you see it in almost now you might be able to actually help me out with this. Hang about Steam. Just down. Oh, work. This is something because I'm such a bloody noob. Most popular, and what's one that I know? What is going? Why is it? Okay, breaching charge by Chopper. I know that. Oh, base building plus was right there. So when it, oh, it doesn't seem to have it. Seen it on many a mod where it says something about is not allowed to be unpacked or.
Yeah, that's where they don't want you to look at their code because, like I said, I don't make mods for this game. But,
no re-uploads or repacking allowed.
Yeah, they don't want you to modify their code and then reuse it. So essentially, what those people are accusing whoever made that helicopter mod are accusing them of essentially taking the mod, taking the code that the DayZ expansion team's working on, and repackaging it a little bit, changing a couple of names, and then selling it back to the server owners, which is kind of a dick move.
I just typed in heli wreck, no loot, heli crash, site zombies, a Russian heli base, but I'm not seeing any helicopter listed.
I believe they took it down. I believe when I think they made a claim against it.
Yep.
So the guy took it off the Steam marketplace. I could be wrong.
Kind of sad, isn't it? Like I put a post up on Twitter saying it'd be great to see the hardcore server owners get together and have a Discord where they share stuff, but at the same time I said in the same post that I know that's a bit unrealistic when at the end of the day every server's trying to compete for, especially in the hardcore side of DayZ, it's a much smaller player base, so they're all essentially competing against each other. But I don't know, maybe it's the altruist in me, but I'd love to be able to see them all work closely together to further the game as a whole.
Well, pretty much what my understanding of DayZ expansion is. That's what they're trying to do. So I hope they get where they're going. And I definitely hope people aren't going to dig them over. But from the sounds of it, the back end, the way this game works for modding, I don't think they can actually protect their code. I think the game needs it in a certain format that you can open up. You can't package it like a typical development application will be packaged up into an exe, and all the code is obfuscated. You can't actually open it up and decode any of that initial setup. So hopefully DayZ might care, but it sounds like they've got so much on their hands right now development wise. I don't think they're going to do too many changes to the back end for the mods, and that would be complete change on how the system works. It's unfair for the modders, but I think it's kind of, if you're going to try to mod a game that's still arguably in development, you're going to expect to make money that way.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of problems.
See, you touched on something there, and getting your pay docked, by the way, Hellfire. Tony, you mate.
Oh no, I'm here, dude. Sorry.
We're docking your pay for this, mate. Fucking turning up. You're 23 minutes late, sunshine.
I did message you earlier, buddy. No, sorry. Kids are all over the place.
That's all
It's,
good, mate. That's all
wasn't
good.
sure if I'd have a whole heap of time.
That's all
so
right.
I got a little bit.
Yeah, but like I was just saying then, are there any communities or I know there's content creators who are making money from the game, but are there any servers that are actually financially profitable?
I think a lot of the server owners do it as a non-profit thing anyway. I know some take donations and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but I don't think any of them are making a profit. It's too expensive.
Well, there's one community I can speak from personal experience that the owner was definitely operating in a for-profit situation, completely flagrantly disregarding Bohemia's original server hosting rules way back when. I believe they're probably still doing it, but I'm not part of that community anymore. But yeah, no, there are people out there that were trying to make a quick buck off of this game. I think it's different now because you don't have to go through hoops to get the server files. Everybody can just get them, host a server at home. But back when you actually had to rent the servers out, there was definitely people doing some nefarious stuff.
They were expensive back then, though, the servers. I will say that. Back before they released the files, they charged a fucking arm and a leg for a DayZ server.
Shameless. And I think it's probably because of the code.
I think I looked at one point, and for a 100 slot for 12 months was like 700.
£700, that is, guys.
Yeah,
that's roughly what I remembered as well. Like 4 years ago, when I was doing a server, and that was with the Blue Waffle guys, we were linked with them. It was costing us, I think, about $100 and something Australian every month. And we were only a small community, and we were constantly scrambling at the end of each month to find enough to pay for the server for the next month. And that was even with donations coming in from some people, but inevitably I was always dipping further into my own pocket to keep the server going, along with a couple of other generous benefactors. And Vanguard was one of them, who put a lot of money in to help keep that dream alive while it was going. But yeah, it was fucking expensive. Now it's a lot cheaper. Good to see.
But then that brings into the conversation, that brings a whole new layer of servers that are sat empty.
Yeah.
Because you can rent one from home with you and your buddy, and you can just do it so the two of you can run around and do whatever the you want to do. There is now an abundance of empty servers. Even official-wise, there is an abundance of empty servers everywhere.
I just brought it up on the page here, the Arma 3 and DayZ server monetization rule. I'll post a link in chat because it is quite a long one, but they are quite specific about what you can and can't do. DayZ, it's not that long. From the December 1st, 2015, anyone who registers is approved and is listed. So you have to actually apply to Bohemia. Is allowed following monetization of their DayZ private shard servers, charging players to access your server if the fees and associated perks do not affect gameplay in any way is allowed. Basically what that is saying is you can do cosmetic things. People can have cosmetic skins on guns and on clothes and things like that, but you can't give people guns per se. You can't give them a special loadout because they paid, because that's affecting the gameplay. Limited.
When I was at Bluff, they had an issue with that with their whitelisting server because it was attached to the other server.
I remember that. We had the, I think Aussie Convicts, we did that as well. We had a whitelist server that was on the same shard as our public server. So whitelisted people were able to go onto that server to loot up and gear up, and yeah, we did that too.
Yeah, that always ends up being abused.
Yeah,
Even when it's we're gonna have this server locked except for events. When we run events for this group, it always gets abused.
Hmm.
servers with access limited to paying players must be on a different hive or have rules and settings identical to the freely accessible servers. So there you go. They've obviously addressed that point with that line there. Maybe that was added. I can't remember that from back in the day, but that definitely addresses the having a whitelisted server attached to the same shard as a public server. Product placement, in-game advertising and sponsorship is allowed. Accepting donations is allowed, but to avoid any doubts, not providing donations must not prevent anyone from accessing content. Selling of in-game items that don't affect gameplay and selling of cosmetic perks are allowed. Applicable only to servers with mods. Modding support has been added to DayZ. Please remember that these rules do not apply to public hive DayZs. Because I've seen on 1SK, they have a very novel little menu you can bring up in game that basically applies skins to whatever clothes you're wearing, and they're everything from camouflage ones to bright pink fucking unicorn style ones. I think D-Hopper's got this, some absolutely crazy ones, even sound effects, cows and all sorts of stuff that just adds a bit of silliness and gives people like to flex. I'm a donor. You can tell I'm a donor because I can do the cow noise and things like that. Plus, it also, to the younger people does kind of appeal to them where they'll be thinking, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. Maybe I will subscribe to this server. And so I can make these weird noises and things like that. Look at the free-to-play games that have all the cosmetic skins in that. People buy them.
Yeah, well, look at Fortnite.
Yep.
That's like one of the most popular games apparently on Earth still, and it's free on all the platforms. They just get you with cosmetic microtransactions.
Yep. And apparently they make a shit ton too. Absolute shit ton.
I'll keep my thoughts on Fortnite to myself, I think.
Nah, say them, mate. Say them. I'm not a fan of the game. I'm not myself.
I'm not. I wouldn't care if the entire player base woke up tomorrow and there was no game. Like, it just does my nutting. Everything about it pisses me off. If I'm shooting at someone, at what point does it go, yeah, cool, I'm just going to build a wall? No, fuck off.
It's crazy. It's an absolutely crazy game. That building mechanic, it's a young person or fast reflex person game. I know I would be absolutely shite in it.
If I shot and someone in DayZ and they ran and started building in front of me, I'd start laughing at them. I would literally just stand there and laugh.
Oh, look, it's a fun mechanic. It's successful. They're very, very successful, but it's not for me. I like battle royales, but I play PUBG because PUBG's more gritty and realistic. It's not cartoony with weird, bloody building mechanics and people building skyscraper towers and yeah.
Well, actually, DayZ is starting to become that on some of these base building servers with hog-style sky bases.
There's a little part of me that dies every time I log onto a server, and I feel the lag, and it's like, oh no, am I on one of these? And then the next thing you see this massive skyscraper in the sky, and it's all concrete tier 3 base building plus, and you're like, oh. But hey, who am I to judge? People like it, people will do it, but all I think of is how much fun can you be having on that server? Because if you've got 4 or 5 or 6 of those bases, like you said with the helicopter, what impact that would have on the server, what impact are all those servers and storage where you can buy as many tents and sea chests and storage, what is that doing to a server? I know what DayZ Down Under used to get like, and Spud was ruthless with making the stuff you needed to build storage so rare, but eventually people would still find it, and then you'd hit those bubbles around the bases on DayZ Down Under, and it just destroyed your car and whatever else, and yeah.
I remember hitting a base like that on Boaf just after they introduced the modding capabilities, and Ben and the admin team there, they built this massive complex just off Green Mountain, and it was beautiful to look at. It was huge, but you knew you were close to it. I'd get to like a kilometre and a half away, my PC would just shit the bed and turn itself off. I'm like, no, fuck you, dude. I remember streaming it the once, and I'm running through the field. I'm busy talking to whoever's there, and I get to this certain point. My computer goes, "You may go no further, good sir," and just blue screens on me. Just fuck you. As soon as I hit that lag bubble, I'm like, "Oh god!" It took me like 4 days to get back into the server. I was not happy. It looked cool. It was amazing. It was just a massive bubble, and if you're playing on a potato like I am, those bubbles don't help.
No.
No, it's the game. The game struggles on its own. We don't need need 30 frame drops when you hit somebody's base bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I help run a server at the moment, and they've got limited capabilities. So if you're a 2-man squad, you can only build a certain size building. If you're a 5-man, you can have slightly bigger. If you're a 10-man, God forbid you need that much gear, but it works on that sort of line.
Yep.
Just to try and stop that that huge bubble effect. And it does work to a point. You just can't do it on every server, and I can see why.
So here's a question. The base mods that everybody's running now. When I used to play the mod, most of those mods for the base building, the bases decayed over time. Is that even happening in standalone, or is this stuff permanent until these server owners actually go in and wipe?
No, they're basically. It depends on what you've set persistence at. Usually, I think it's like 14, or I think on DDU it used to be 28 days. If you don't interact with a wall, as in like go up to it, attach something to it, and remove it, 28 days later, or whatever the persistence time is set for it, those items will despawn.
Right.
So the more walls you've got, the more nails you need to stick one in each thing, and literally just go take them in and out. It's a ball ache. It really is.
It is. It really is.
You were better
can't
off
complain,
finding
you
a
got nothing
building
to
already
do.
built. Oh yeah.
Well, that's honestly when they were talking about base building way back before any of this stuff. What I was really looking forward to was fortifying the buildings, and that was
Yes.
supposed to be what was coming first. And that's what, anytime I've been on a server that has even just vanilla, but obviously not official, just fortifying a building with some of these things that you can build is the way to go. That's the way to go. These giant bases and cement mixers and helicopter landing pads on the, well, come on, what is the point?
I watched a Toprek video the other day. Interestingly titled, I think it was why streamers shouldn't have bases. It was a mod that I hadn't seen before. But it looked like someone has basically, there's a mod out there. Let me find Toprek's channel, where they were able to lock down a house with a metal door. Well, this is why streamers shouldn't build bases in DayZ.
Looks like you've got the Australian version of what's the shitty American Comcast?
Now I'm with the biggest provider in Australia. Okay, I think this is. You have to put up with him and OG trash talking each other.
You look like an overseas military
Given.
prick. I look like somebody who is a lumberjack. If I could throw this at your face, I would launch it at
That still
your
gets
fucking
me now.
stupid
Like,
beard.
how long has this? Has it been?
8
So
years. No, not that long, but feels like it.
I'm just going to mute it. But you'll see him in a second put a door in. Here it is. There.
Oh, we've got that mod on Futile. It's great.
Yeah. Little 4-digit code, and I think that's fantastic. I would love to see more of that, because that's one of the things I like about Dead Matter, is they've got it lined up so that you don't build bases, you just reclaim existing buildings. Here's more of it.
Give me 2 seconds. I need to go and check on my son.
Yeah.
So, as the guy that's going to come up to this base that has this nice big steel door, how do I get in? How do I breach that? Do I have to go to a trader that I really don't want to even play on a server that has?
I don't know. You'd probably have to. Hellfire will probably be able to answer, but I'm guessing it'd be with raid tools or with explosives or something like that.
I think actually, while you were answering, I just watched the video and I think they hacked it apart with a hatchet.
No, he was pulling it down from inside. I remember in the video he set it up the wrong way, so that anyone could have just destroyed it, like you can with walls in DayZ when they put the anti-raid thing on it, that you could still tear them down from the inside. But he just set it up the wrong way, being a noob at building, I think he says.
I wouldn't even have got that far.
Get up, Smokey! Get to work, Smokey!
Oh, God. I love OG. He's a one of a kind, that boy. But yeah, I think that's a fascinating idea, to enable people to lock down existing buildings. And you'd have to imagine that it would have less of an impact on the server than big, massive skyscraper bases and stuff like that.
Right. And even ignoring server performance issues, it just looks weird. It doesn't fit. It never fit. It never fit in the mod.
No.
For me, those giant bases, and I played with the group, and that was all they wanted to do was build a massive base.
Yep.
It's give you a task. I'll give you that. If you're bored with the mechanics of how the game works, I totally understand it. Not necessarily my jam.
I like the fact that it had a 4-digit code. It's something I've had discussions with people in the past as well. 4 digits. Now that's 9,999 possible combinations. Well, 10,000. 0000 as well. But I think if someone is determined enough to sit there for hours, they should be rewarded with the potential of being able to break that code by trying. I know that, I don't think many people would sit there and do it, but who knows? You may get someone who is that dedicated that they're going to sit there and check it. In fact, if they can get away with doing that and not have someone come up and shoot them from behind while they're doing it. But I don't like the code locks where you could do the combination of letters, numbers, all the rest of it. To me, that just a base has to be rateable.
Right, and that's the thing I don't think anybody's really balanced properly for me is it's too time intensive to build the base for what it takes for me on vanilla to rate it.
Yes.
But the swing in the other direction doesn't help either, where you come into a server where, okay, fine, you can tear the base down, but you have to have a red sledgehammer and there's only one of them spawning in the whole map, and if someone already has it, you're screwed.
Yeah, because they get it, they go
I'm not really into that.
Create a crate and they bury it, and then no one will ever get their hands on it, or they put it on an alt account and log out with it.
Right. As the DayZ standalone Facebook group. So Rob, who runs that, I can't remember if it was DayZ Core originally, but he did a server before the one that I think they have now, and they were trying to balance that out. And at one point it was, okay, we'll just change the amount of time like you have to be in the animation of trying to tear the wall down for it to work. They didn't even try to limit it to certain weapons or anything like that, but they wanted it. The community voted for it to be 20 minutes. 20 minutes in real time. I would have to be holding my mouse button down in an animation. I would literally starve to death.
DayZ down under did it for
DayZ.
30 minutes.
Come on, this so far unbalanced in the other direction is silly.
One of the guys in my chat, Stubby, we had a trader faction on that server, and we had an arrangement with a bunch called Hodgie's Glorious Bastards, and we would supply them with raid tools whenever we got our hands on them for a share of their profits. And because we were the nice guys of the server, we didn't do raiding and stuff like that ourselves, but that was a detriment for us because we weren't raiders. We didn't understand the weaknesses of the bases. So I actually sent a couple of the lads off to go on a raid. And I think Stubby said it as, that's half an hour of my life I'm never going to get back. He said it was the most boring fucking thing, just sitting there holding left mouse button down and knowing that if you took your finger off for a sec, it all started again.
Right. So if you're going to do it, you have it stack for a certain amount of time. And more likely DayZ doesn't even allow for something like that. I don't know. I don't know the language, but that would be the fair way to do that. Is once I start this, all the damage I do to this wall stacks up for 5 minutes. So if I stop, I can go to the bathroom and come back and continue.
Look, I think there is the potential for it, because something I noticed today on the stream was I stopped at I can't remember the name of the little town just to the east of Chernerus, where there's a well near those few houses and a little train station.
Right. Yeah.
And I put down a garden plot, and I put the seeds in, watered it, grew the crop, came out, and now when I did it, I was using a vodka bottle, so I was only able to fill up 2 plots, and then I'd have to go or 2 seeds, and then I'd have to go and fill it up again. Second time around, I seemed to remember that there was still moisture in the soil, so I was able to water all 9 plots with about a quarter of the bottle of water. So there is the potential for that, I'm guessing, to be done, where it can remember how much damage has been done to something. Even when you consider deterioration levels, I don't know whether you could assign the pristine, worn, damaged, badly damaged, ruined mechanic to a wall as well. Never paid attention to it.
I don't think so. I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time on the base building servers since they've started with all of these mods, but the vanilla base building and some of the first versions of the base building plus before they put in all the other objects, no, you just sit there in the animation until the animation is done, and then the wall is gone. Or if you're on the other side of it, you're taking individual parts off of it. Ideally, the way it would work is you are going through those states. So you're starting at a pristine state and you're bringing it down to worn. So you've got 30 minutes of damage you have to do to it, but it shouldn't be time. It should be damage points, some type of system that's not tied directly to me having to hold a button down for an hour.
Because then you end up at the other extreme where they have breaching charges and stuff like that, and it's just literally find the gear, combine it, stick it on the wall, and wait till the countdown.
Right? It has to be as hard to raid as it is to build, but that doesn't mean you have to make it impossible in either direction. There is a middle ground, because there's tons of games that have base building and griefing, and they seem fair. Even Rust, I don't play it, but I've watched a bunch of Rust videos. Even how that is kind of running seems a little bit better than what we've got at our disposal within DayZ. Mod wise, vanilla, no, vanilla is silly. I don't think anyone wants to spend an hour building a base and have me come by. And I actually have a video. I don't think I actually put it on YouTube, but it was when base building first came out on the village, and I spawned out in a little construction area. And when I spawned in the next day, someone had built a base all the way around me, and I actually had to take a wall down from the inside to get out. And then I just went to another wall and a gate and showed you in real time how long it took in vanilla to tear it down, and it was just shameless, knowing it would have taken all night. Oh, not even. It was faster than that. It was ridiculous.
Why would you bother building a base on vanilla?
I couldn't imagine why you would. I understand.
It's so time intensive finding all the stuff, and then all someone needs to do is find one crowbar or one axe or a hatchet, and bang, they can be inside your base and have everything in minutes. Right.
Some of the mod, like the Epoch mods and stuff, did a little bit better. The physics out the window, but the way they did the rating and stuff, at least on the servers I played, it was balanced. You didn't necessarily need breaching charges, but they could eventually upgrade their stuff to a tier where you needed to get some high level gear before you could actually breach that area. But it would take them weeks and weeks, and you still had a chance. If you wanted to just sit there and hit it with a hatchet for 4 days, it would take points off of it. It would work.
Yep. Yeah, even if you did it that, you needed X amount of tools to be able to tear it down. I know that's not realistic. One crowbar could take down a whole base, but so you need to have multiple of a tool and things like that. But it's still not perfect, and hopefully More work will get done on it. It's such a integral part of DayZ for so many people base building. I'm certain it'll get shown a lot of love.
Oh, definitely. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers since it came back.
Yeah.
Since they brought it out, and people with the mods have actually made it worthwhile. So many people have come back to DayZ, and we can't ignore that. Like I'm not big on most of the mods because I haven't really found a server that has the right balance. I mean, DayZ Underground with their hardcore mod is real close to what I'd want, but
Yep.
even then, it's not. It's not. I haven't found it yet.
Well, that segues nicely into the next point. Have you tried the After Dark server?
No, I was really itching to try that this morning, but I didn't have a chance yet.
Yeah, definitely.
That's not one I've managed to go onto yet either.
Definitely worth a shot, guys. Like, as I mentioned at the beginning, this server, it's just, for me, with my vision for DayZ of like how I like it, this server is ticking almost every box for me. It's so fucking hardcore. Like literally, I went for 5 hours tonight, and I made it. Yes, I was jogging, I was conserving energy, but I made it all the way from just north of Kami to Pavlovo, or near Pavlovo military base, and that's 5 hours running. On your average server, 45 minutes you're at the Northwest Airfield, and you're geared to the fucking teeth. I've got a Winchester with 1 bullet, an FNX with no mag, a Scorpion with a magazine and no bullets. I did have a trumpet, but I threw that because I may as well pick up a rock and chuck it at them as opposed to shooting them with a trumpet. And that's 5 hours of looting through Electro, Cherno, numerous police stations, and it's just fucking hardcore. Very, very hardcore. Probably the best hardcore server I've seen so far.
There used to be a really good one called Remnants that was partly run by Boaf and partly run by, I believe, the remaining half of Jensen Novo.
Yep.
That was brilliant, but they shut that one down recently. That's the one.
Yeah. Actually, I was with those guys. Yeah, it's a shame. They really pushed to give the survival server that people like me wanted. But it was impossible to keep it populated. But when they started Remnants, DayZ standalone vanilla didn't even have any of the really advanced medical stuff that we have now. Like the sickness wasn't even back in, so they had that, and it was intense. So you would get sick from all the water sources. You would get sick, a chance to get sick from the zombies hitting you, making you bleed. You needed different medications depending on what sickness you had.
Yep.
They had an advanced tab screen that you went into and show you what sickness you had. It was incredibly grindy, but it was really fun. I played hours and hours on that server, and then they partnered up with Blue Waffle, and they hosted it there. And even then, they couldn't keep it populated. Not everybody sits here and says we want a hardcore survival game, and then someone puts it out, and no one wants to play it. And I myself, I won't play on an empty server.
I do. I have several times just jumped onto an empty server that's been pitch black just for that immersive, like, I know I'm on my own, I'm not getting shot, I just want to run around and look at.
Have you guys seen the medical attention mod?
That's the one that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Remnants.
That is,
Yeah,
if I had to put only one mod on a server, for me, it'd be medical attention, hands down. Now, I know there's an issue with medical attention has got broken bones as one of the parts. There's also, I've got to check this out. I keep forgetting about it, this misery server that Lucian Pin has made. I do need to check that out because the name just appeals to me as it is. But they have got some of the most amazing things in it, like read the complete medical guide here.
The sleeping. The sleeping
is I do know that they are looking at that for After Dark. They love the medical attention mod, but they just have some concerns over the broken bones because apparently you can glitch through walls or something. The broken bones in it, something like that. Yeah.
A lot of people turn it off.
Yeah, that's it. That's the easy fix. You just turn it off, which is sad because broken bones is one of those integral things of DayZ for me. But like you said here, the level of sickness, your cholera, salmonella, wound infection's fucking annoying because the first you realise you've got it is you get that blurred vision, and it usually takes a course of antibiotics to get rid of it. Unless you're smart and whenever you get cut by an infected, you pop a multivitamin. Cold and or influenza, broken legs, broken arms, hemolytic reaction, just drunkenness, biohazard zone. The tiredness, though, is probably the best thing. Like, if they had tiredness on this server, I doubt I would have got past Cherno. Because you've got to stop, and you can only get that 100% sleep factor by lying next to a fire or inside a medium tent or a sleeping bag if they've got them on the servers as well. Just such an amazing mod. Kind of touching the next point. It is, hands down, it's my favourite mod of all time.
Yeah, that was the only empty server I ever actually enjoyed playing on.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the discussion of mods, there's one mod that I'd love from a survival aspect that if someone made it, I would personally travel to them, blow them, and then go home to play it. And that's just have different variations of wildlife. Like, I'm fed up of shooting at the same deer and the same bear.
Yes.
Give me something else. Give me some different variations of chickens, some new breeds of goats, cows, whatever. Just make it more. Don't make it more of them.
What I want as well is I want someone to change boar and deer so that if you kill the female deer, there's a chance that the buck will turn on you. Boars, you can get quite close to boars. I think there should be like a randomized distance that, for anyone who's hunted, Moonshine's probably in chat. He'll be able to verify this. But boars are fucking scary, and if they attack you, you are in for. We'll just ask fucking King Robert in bloody Game of Thrones. But if a boar attacks you, you are in a lot of fucking trouble. Not only will they slice you because those tusks are fucking razor sharp, but they're disgusting, dirty fucking creatures, and you're going to get infected. I would love for those animals to be a bit more dangerous than they are. And wolves especially. Wolves at the moment are a joke.
Honestly, the wolves have been a joke for a while.
Yeah. I hear
but then
wolves
you know
and
what will
it's just
happen,
like,
it'll get adjusted and the wolves will be just as hard as the fucking bears.
But I would like that. I personally would like that because you hear, like I just said then, I hear a wolf howl and I think dinner. I run towards them now. They don't bother me. If you've got a splitting axe, yeah, it's free easy food. On DayZ Down Under, they've got a mod where you can make improvised tents, but you need 20 tanned leather, and it takes multiple animals, but you get one wolf pack, and that's usually one improvised tent for you, plus all the meat in that.
Well, if you make them as hard as bears, you got to change where they're spawning, because I can't tell you how many times I've got to Pavlovo and been completely surrounded by 1 or 2 packs of wolves.
Yeah.
If I'm a fresh spawn looking for bullets and those wolves actually pose a threat and I can't just poke them to death with a stick.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen it with zombies over the years. People say the zombies are too easy, Bohemia adapt them, and then everything. Oh no, they're too hard. They're too hard. We can't deal with those. So you're going to go from one side to the spectrum to the other, and it doesn't matter who does it. It's not going to be perfect, because what Boydie might like, I might not. What Fishy doesn't like, I could fucking love. So it's, you hit and miss depending on who you're playing with to how it works.
What's the post I put in DayZ? Sorry, After Dark. Made a suggestion that I think would like to see the rate of infection from infected strikes raised a bit now. I feel there is little danger from being hit and cut by infected. With the scarcity of meds, this would add some danger to attacking them. Leave the chance of being cut low, but dramatically raise the chance of infection if you are cut by them. That I would love to see on the server, so that I don't think they're too far off a good balance, in my opinion. You get a pack of infected on you, and you get cornered. That's it. It's all over. You just can't get them all done before they knock you into unconsciousness. Individually, you can take them out quite easily, but there's still that chance of being cut. And I think that they need to raise that risk of infection and maybe make the infection a bit more serious, that you need a course of antibiotics. Like at the moment, most infections, other than when you've got medical attention mod, you pop one pill and the disease is gone. You know, it's almost like token medical issues.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's DayZ isn't hard enough. Well, here now you sneeze if you stay in the rain a little bit too long, and people, okay, well that's not tough enough. This isn't a survival game. So then they dump Livonia out on us, and they make it
rain
so
like a
hardcore with
motherfucker.
the rain.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even fun. That beta wasn't fun. I didn't even get to enjoy that map.
I did, because I just cooked meat and stuck it in my pants.
Well, but see, I'm the type of guy that wouldn't do the apple glitch, or so I wouldn't.
You won't do that either.
Well, I will now. Fuck it, I don't care.
We managed to persuade a friend of mine the apple glitch was still a thing. The dude spent 20 minutes punching an apple tree while we were pissing ourselves with laughter.
Oh my god.
Did you record it? Please tell me you recorded that.
This is at a point when I wasn't even looking at content, so I had no shadow play, no OBS, no nothing. So it was like, I wish I'd have done it. But he stood there for like 20 minutes, pissed as a fart, punching this tree.
I've got the best troll that I've seen someone do it. It's by Archie Stormcloud. He did a video where he fucked with people. Basically, he preyed on people's Nature Cull's trolling dumb players. He tricked him into thinking there was some way of doing a glitch that DayZ God mode. This is it. Just watch a bit of this.
God.
Oh, I'm gonna do the respawn glitch real quick.
What is that?
It gives you full health and water and gets rid of your sickness and shit. There we go.
Wait, what?
You take a long stick or a shovel, and then you go like you're gonna F11.
Yeah, Rody.
That like got me way too full though. I'm gonna throw up.
I'm not hearing
And then
any.
you left click, and then you hit escape really quick, like at the same time.
You can't hear the video.
Oh, you don't know how to sprint?
I'm saving energy.
So is he convincing them to kill
You
themselves?
just gotta get
Yeah.
use the respawn glitch to get your food up, man.
He's tricking him.
How do you do that?
I'll show you how.
The moonshine.
Just climb that crane
What
and
about
I'll
you
show you
guys
how
in
to do
stream?
it.
Can you hear the audio?
That's too high. If you go that high, you're gonna
See,
die.
I'm not listening to the stream.
All
That's
you gotta
probably what it
do
is, 'cause
is
then I'll
jump
get
and
a
land
weird
on
ass-
me.
Oh,
head.
yeah, you need
Wanna
to
stand
listen to
right
the
here so
stream.
you can't miss me.
health and it's scrolling down.
You're gonna land on me. I'll catch you. Come on. Yeah, you landed on that thing. You didn't go uncon. Oh,
Okay, I'll do it this time, okay?
Yeah. Climb up, mate. Hurry. All right. Now, make sure you land on me. That's high enough. Make sure you land on me. I'll catch you.
Okay.
He's basically tricking people into thinking
Almost
they're
done.
going to get this
And I'm
invincible
gonna
God
give you my
mode,
gear because I want to go play on community service.
and he's just trolling them so they kill themselves.
You'll have to press shift, but you gotta
This is
land on my
great.
head, okay? I'm gonna stand still. Got it?
I can.
What? No! You're good, bro. Get up. I saved you. You're good to go.
Yeah, you did. Oh my god, thank you. You're so amazing.
What's your name?
Carlos.
Cover me a second. I gotta do the
Untitled.
I gotta do the God mode glitch, okay?
Yo, man, don't. No,
I'm not killing myself.
No.
I'm not killing myself. I'm doing the glitch.
That's pretty dirty.
There we go. The
It's
God
funny,
mode glitch
though.
where you don't need food or water.
Oh,
or
hell
anything.
yeah.
How many
But
noobs
it made
are
me
there
wanna
that are gonna
full.
fall?
I'm gonna throw up now.
How many noobs are there that are going to fall for this?
What do you do?
Yep, there it is.
The
Just
video-
the dude straight off the
You don't
top
know
of
how
the
to
video
video
goes
station.
for 10
It's just like,
minutes.
whoops.
We gotta hurry. This guy's
You
gonna
can
kill
see
us.
the pop-ups
Okay,
here.
now
There's just
you
people.
Press F11 like you're gonna commit suicide, and then you left click and press escape at the same time. Nope, left click and escape. You'll see all your food and water and everything start going up.
It doesn't work.
It worked for me.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
no,
is
try it.
gold.
Alright, so put it in my hand. And then so I hit left click and escape at the same time.
Yep. You hit the. Okay, you didn't do it
Come
fast.
on, man!
You didn't do it fast enough.
Too late.
Is he playing
So
on console?
if I do
Aw.
something to you, you won't die?
No, he's a PC
Invincible.
player. I'm
See
pretty
what-
sure.
What's your health at?
About 50.
You guys cool with glitches?
What glitch?
You can do the respawn glitch where the game thinks you're dead, but it gives you full health.
How does that work?
You gotta jump and land on my head, and then you go unconscious for like 1 second, then you stand right back up with full health and no sickness.
Yeah, let's try that.
I think this one
All
will be
these
low
people
enough that you
who
won't die if you miss me.
want to do
Yeah,
this
just
sort
land
of
on my
stuff.
head, bro. We gotta hurry.
I'll put the link to the video in chat. We won't just sit here and watch this. But I was
Try it.
pissing
Hurry,
myself
try it,
laughing
try it.
the whole way through this video because it's just he's preying on all these people who are so gullible.
It's great. Yeah, if you want a glitch, you're gonna pay the toll.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I know Archie can be. Some people think he's a bit controversial in that, but I actually like the guy's style. He does amazing guides to DayZ as well. Illness and injury, salmonella, and he's got just a really good cheeky sense of humor as well. Like I'll quickly show
I
one.
think we touched on it last week with guides that Asmodean on Twitter does
Oh.
the best one you could possibly think of. That
Yes.
guy is an absolute legend.
Yes. I retweeted one of his last ones and I said, seriously, if you call yourself a DayZ fan and you're not following Asmondian on Twitter,
Well, hello there, random viewer.
Oh, no,
Welcome back.
you can't
I'm
put
Archie
those two in the same
Stormcloud, and I'd like to
sentence.
thank you for tuning into my foraging guide part 3, identifying
You're not
and
following that
harvesting
dude, you
mushrooms.
don't know what's
And in
quite
this
missing.
lesson,
Yeah.
we'll be discussing the 8 species of everyone's favorite phallic fungi, as well as where to locate them, their benefits and side effects, and finally, their variations of preparedness for consumption. South Zagoria Chinaris hosts a total of 8 species
does-
of fungi. Look,
very, very good quality videos this guy Archie does. So definitely if you, especially if you're new to the game, he's definitely worthwhile watching him. And I'll also say Rab Plays as well. Rab Plays is doing some really, really good videos. Almost, I'll probably get shot down for saying it, but he's almost becoming the new Wobo.
There's rumours he's meant to be coming back, though, isn't it?
Look, I don't know. He's made two. Actually, let's have a look. I do follow him on Twitter, but I haven't seen.
Hey,
any
if you
VidPod.
want like a Twitch return that rivals anything to what Dr. Disrespect had, that is Wobo to the DayZ community.
Yeah,
That will be a hell of a thing. Like that dude is an unspoken hero within the community, and a lot of people will agree with it.
I don't I don't think it's unspoken.
No,
No.
loads of people have spoken it, but it's just as a general rule before the whole thing went off a couple of years ago, where everyone kind of proved it. Even before then, it was just an unspoken.
still only those two tweets. Any replies from him?
Look at those notifications, Boydie. Jesus Christ, mate! You could at least clear them off, you know.
Mate, I check fucking Twitter, but I've been streaming the last 5 hours. Does anyone hate me?
And you call yourself a streamer. You can't multitask social media and what you doing?
No, I keep it saying, mate, it's a miracle I can even stream. Being such
Yeah,
a
I
boomer
know
that I
those
am.
some days.
Okay, where were we? Amazing mods. We've been touching on that. What else? Anyone in chat? Are there any mods that you guys think are absolutely amazing as well? But for me, it's medical attention. Another one was one I saw on the Stranded server, and it enabled you to. I really liked it, and I think you could do it on any hardcore server. It wouldn't detract from how hard the game is. I think it's one of those things where functionality that it provides to a player far outweighs the benefit of having it, and that was if you actually have an in-game map on your character, it allows you to access. Now, like a lot of the servers now, you just press M and it brings up the map, shows you your location and everything. Can't bring up that map without actually carrying a map on you, which I thought was fantastic. It didn't show you your location. I believe that if you had a compass as well, it did, which I'm not a fan of. I like the idea of you still having to work out whether it be by contour lines or using a compass and taking a bearing to a known feature and doing what they call a resection, basically. But yeah, you couldn't use the map. Plus, what they'd also done was that so you could press M to look at the map, but by just holding the button to open the map was able to be customized to show the faction claims on the server as well, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. It was so nice looking at this map and using the mouse to turn your head to look at the different sections of it and seeing all these areas marked off as different factions and all the rest of it. I just thought it really added to the vibe of the server.
Not one for the maps myself. I like being lost.
Oh yeah, but do you grab a map in game?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you right now, if I was playing Livonia, yes, because I can't navigate worth anything. But I've got enough hours in Chernarus that I pretty much don't. I don't even pick up flashlight anymore.
I don't pick up a map on Chernarus anymore. But Livonia, I actually set myself a rule that the only time I would use the I Survive map, because the only issue I have is that I like to be able to, I'll pick up a map and I'll carry it. But you can't actually write on the map in game. I use the I Survive thing where I come across a base. This is when I was back in a faction and all the rest of it. I would go to I Survive and I would mark base this location. It enabled you to, a little bit unrealistic in that other people could log in, but we use it as sort of like a way of sharing information that you can't write on anything. This was before you had paper on the bases and that. But I just like the idea of having a map in game and a compass. You saw today when I found a compass when I was streaming, I was so excited because even on Chernarus, I still can find myself getting turned around and heading in the wrong direction, especially when I'm in the woods. And as dark as After Dark is, you definitely need that compass to keep going in the right direction. Nothing to add?
Well, I was just gonna pop on say I recall a mod for the DayZ mod, funny enough, and it was a similar deal with the map. You needed to find the map, and I think it was in several pieces in the game, and you needed to find a compass and also GPS. And once you found all of that stuff, you could put the map together and then open it up and actually, I don't think you saw your own spot on the map, but you could put waypoints on the map that you could see when you're running around.
That'd be
And we used to
fantastic.
plan and coordinate. Oh, it was great. Eventually, the whole squad system that is in now and in a lot of servers was there too, so you could coordinate and see your buddy across the valley from you or whatnot. A little HUD indicator. I know some servers are running that now. I don't know if I'm a fan of it either because I've had so many fun times accidentally shooting friends. But you kind of run out of the friendly fire excuses if it's telling you that's your friend right there.
I'm not a fan of the squad system either myself, but you made me remember that when DayZ Standalone was first released, the map did used to come in pieces. I think there was a chance you could find the full map, but more often you would find the northeast section, northwest section, southeast section, southwest, and you could combine them all together off memory.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Really enjoyed that.
Seems so long ago now, huh? Years and years ago.
Oh, doesn't it, mate? But it's testament to DayZ that despite what people say about it, after all these years, all these bugs, all these problems, there's still lots of people playing the game.
I think like I said, I think it's actually the highest numbers they've had since the heyday when it was released.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people playing. Now, they're spread out across so many servers, it almost makes a lot of servers redundant.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people enjoying this game. And then, of course, you've got the consoles. I don't even know where to get the numbers for that, but there's a lot of people playing it on console and having a good time. We're going to sell them on getting PCs, and then they'll all be in the same servers as us.
Yeah, look at the numbers. The numbers are staying steady. We had that peak for Livonia release. Is that Livonia? No, I don't think that is Livonia. Livonia was ages ago. What was that peak for?
Wasn't there a free weekend a weekend or two
yes,
ago?
free
That's
weekend.
the weekend, yeah.
Yep. And then the numbers have stayed. And what was it before? 20 odd. They're still staying around the 20 odd mark. So the numbers are staying steady. I know that's not huge numbers when you compare it to other games, but like you said, there's your. So other than that's 1.0, I think. December 2018. I can't remember what June 2016 was, but yeah, 45,000 then.
Wasn't that when the new graphics render was bought in with 0.6?
Yeah, that was like 0.6 or 6.1. Yeah, that's
Confusion
what that was.
Engine?
No, the renderer.
The renderer. And then
Well,
look at what it got down to. Look at what it got down to. 4,000, 3,000.
Well, again, it's the cycle of DayZ. They make changes, they do something, people have an opinion, they voice the opinion, and they swing in such wild directions trying to please everybody, let they please nobody, and everybody gets fed up. And I remember that period because I'm pretty sure I had it uninstalled for a big chunk of 2017, 2018.
You know what? Here's a video idea for you, Fishy, because I don't have the technical skills to do it. What someone needs to do is take this image and put in what every patch was along the way, where it coincides with, so we can see, where was this 0.55 here or something like that when it dipped to a big low, and then was that 0.57 where all the loot was easy. And it'd be good to see the timeline of players matched against the various patches and major releases, when Dean Hall left and when Brian left, and all a timeline of everything that happened in DayZ.
All I want is legacy servers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if someone hosted a server that had 0.59 on it just for Northwest Airfield tents alone, I'd be all over that. Like you don't want to.
Hashtag bring back below the tents for me.
Oh, let's go way back.
Yeah. I loved Below the Tents. It was one of my favourite, if not my favourite place on the map, Below the Tents, because not a lot of people went there. But more often than not, you'd always bump into one person there. It was never a big PvP festival like the Northwest Airfield was. But yeah.
My favourite point on the map is the dam at Mishkino. Every time.
Every what, sorry? I think Hellfire just got too close to that base on Blue Waffle. His computer died. Sorry. Wife switched on the fucking Hoover. I heard that noise pop up in the background, mate. I was wondering what it was. That's all good, mate. That's all good.
I missed the old tents there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think she's trying to tell you to get off the computer, mate. Happy wife, happy life.
Now, see, he's lucky because mine would just go in and flip the circuit breaker.
Mine's cut the internet.
Oh, well, she needs that. She needs that. She's using that.
Nah, we've got a modem that backs up to the 4G, so you can still do stuff on your iPad and stuff like that, but you just couldn't do anything on the computer.
And see, and you're trying to say you're a boomer and you're non-technical. You got all those fancy backups and stuff. I work in IT. I work in data centers, and I don't have any of that. When my power goes out, my computer slowly dies.
Look, the power goes out, the computer wouldn't be working on that. But yeah, if the cable goes down for the internet, but this is just a modem that comes from our provider, so it's built into their thing. But no worries, Hellfire, mate. You go cook dinner, mate, and give the missus a kiss on the cheek from Fishy. My wife is like a badman, no excuse to swing a hammer. I just love that she turned the vacuum on as a message of get off the fucking computer now, you cunt. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty great. That was pretty great.
last topic before we do the fun one. Death in DayZ. I think you die too easily, right? I miss, and I'm not sure if we covered this in a previous podcast or whether I covered it in a video, but I miss the old lying there for 10 to 15 minutes wondering if you were going to bleed out or whether your friends who were in the gunfight with you were going to be able to revive you, and not knowing. I know it was annoying because sometimes, like I remember watching The Running Man on some occasions, 30 minutes he'd be lying there uncon, waiting to wake up. That was ridiculous. But I think right now, death is too easy. There's little incentive and little opportunity. Even a lot. I still firmly believe that a lot of KOS is done out of gear fear. People just shoot because they're scared the other person's going to shoot them, and that given the opportunity, if they only knock you uncon, they may, not always, but they may tie you up, bandage you up, and then even if they execute you afterwards. I feel right now that it is so easy to die. So easy to die. And it kind of ruins it a bit.
Yeah, it does. It shifts the game loop, for lack of a better term. It definitely shifts how people play it.
Yeah.
Broken legs, for one.
Yes.
Really a dynamic that has to come back, because I can't, there's tons of streamers and YouTubers examples, and I could count myself there. I've been somebody that they legged me in a field, and the amazing thing that happened after that would not have happened if I had died right there, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same with the bleeding out when you go on con. So again, I've got a video somewhere in my playlist that shows this actually happening, where I engage a squad, I draw them in, get into a big gunfight, and I get tagged horribly and go down uncon, wait it out, and then actually come back up 5 minutes later and barely survive, right? That doesn't happen anymore. You get shot, you're dead. And whatever nonsense videos we remember of them showing us the medical under the hood, under your skin, that you've got critical organs and brain shots and all of this stuff.
Wasn't that a shit fight when that got released?
Well, I don't see any of it playing out in the game. I see you getting a couple of scratches when you get shot, or you're dead. I don't see.
No, they got rid of it. I remember them. They got rid of it because it almost went to insta death. You got shot almost anywhere, you died because of all these critical organs throughout your body. I believe they removed it, so there's only 2 left, which is the heart and the brain now, I think. But they had everything in their lungs and liver and spleen and all sorts of stuff off memory. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah,
you're right.
It was terrible. It was a terrible fucking mechanic, because it was pretty much someone fired a fucking 22 at you, you died. It was like, what the hell?
Well, again, classic DayZ development. They had an idea. It was a good idea. They implemented it horribly wrong and didn't balance it. They just got rid of it. And that so many of the features we're missing right now are because instead of trying to balance them out, they just said, forget about it. We don't need it. And actually sat there and told us, those aren't core to the game. Broken bones and improvised bows and any of the survival aspects of the game. At one point, if anybody wants to go back in time and remember, at 1.0, they weren't core part of the game and weren't needed. It was flavoring that they could or maybe would add later.
Yeah.
And the whole reason I liked Arma was because it was not a typical shooter. There was actual strategy involved there, even a step above Battlefield, which is really my series of choice. And then you get DayZ, where it's a blending of a survival game with some of those military style aspects and the underlying systems. And then they slowly pulled every one of those systems out, said they were going to replace it with something better, and I haven't seen it. Personally, I haven't seen it. I don't like the gunplay anymore. I don't like the way my character controls. If you go down bleeding, you're dead. You bleed out way too fast. You get into melee battle.
You really, even one cut. In minutes you could be probably in about. We'll have to have a play of it and see, but I think it's probably about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. You're dead.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
If you don't have rags or your rags get ruined, it's pretty quick.
Yep. Oh yeah. It's disappointing because, I think given the opportunity, most people, there are some who just purely love to kill for the sake of killing. But I think in most cases, like the video I release tomorrow, I actually get the tire guy up. That's probably giving away a little bit, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, pretty much if I knock someone uncon, I've done it before. I've done it at the Northwest Airfield back in the day. Got in a gunfight with a guy, knocked him down, was able to bandage myself and then go over, tie him up. I tied him up first, and then I bandaged his wounds, and then I just sat there waiting for him to come up. And I let him live. I think he was the aggressor off memory, but I still remember him at the end saying, "Thanks for not killing me." Now, I don't know whether he would have done the same, but I like to think that my little bit of altruism meant that next time he got into a gunfight with someone, if he knocked him uncon, there's a chance that he may have let them live.
I think it goes both ways. So you've got people that all it takes is one or two bad encounters to make them the guys just popping people in the face as soon as they get a chance. And then the other way, you can take somebody that's a hardcore, all I do is run to camp the top of the police station, shoot people when they run by the door I'm in. You can take one of them and give them an encounter and an adventure, like a classic old school adventure in DayZ. You completely change somebody's outlook on this game because a lot of people get bored with it. It's a little different now. There's so much variety now with the mods, but the core loop of the game is pretty repetitive and it gets boring. And to have some random stuff like that happen, because you see, you watch a stream and you watch these YouTube videos, and it's a really condensed thing. So you can't expect to have the similar 8-hour experience as everybody. You might be watching on YouTube, but it takes 5 minutes out of that 8 hours might be the most intense thing that's ever happened, and it will change your outlook. Teaming up with somebody and talking to them first is almost always the start of an adventure in this game. Most of the fun I've had is because I didn't shoot somebody.
One of the best videos ever seen that sort of sums up what you were talking about there is an old one of the Running Man. This is from December 4th, 2015. And it is probably my favorite Running Man video. Now, the Running Man, he can be a salty guy in game. And this is playing on DayZ Underground. And he bumps into X, who I believe was the leader of Dam. And I won't play it, but they start off with a very salty encounter that could have just ended up with one of them shooting the other one. But they push through it, and you get to see, this was one of the Running Man's earliest examples of him doing something outside his normal play style. He actually goes kind of bandity. And he's done it several times since, but this was one of the first ones, and I was actually watching the stream when all of this unfolded, and it was an absolutely amazing video that would never have occurred if you just shot someone and killed them, and pushing past it and going on to probably one of his best videos of all time, in my humble opinion. Better love story than Twilight, cried at the end. Perfect comment. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, definitely worth a watch. I'll put that in. Have you ever seen it?
Oh, I've watched every single Running Man video there is.
Do you remember Hex the Way of the Meat?
Yep, that's one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, it is absolutely phenomenal.
The all-time best, though, honestly, regardless of what playstyles you like, are I think it's the Trolling Man Z, the one where he's trolling an elite squad in the old, I think it's old Cherno. Really funny. I think that's the first one I ever saw, and basically consumed all of his stuff ever since.
Yeah, I found him through Super FT LOL.
Oh no, I'm way ahead of you.
Yeah.
Actually, here's an interesting fact. Random fact, actually, it's not interesting at all. If you remember, FT did a series called The Base Bandit.
Yes, love The Base Bandit.
So I can't remember. I think there was 2 seasons of it. It might have been the first season. It was whichever season it was. They were filming almost all of it on was it Grumpy Bandits?
Yep, I think it was.
It was a server. Yeah, it was a server I happened to play on. So one time I'm watching one of the episodes, and they're down on the coast. I think they're going towards Kamenka. I think it was when Kamenka that military base first showed up, and somebody was there, and they got into this whole encounter, and they lost the guy. Well, that was me. That was actually me. I running into the fog. I saw 2 guys. I ran into the trees and just logged out because that's how I played at that point. I'm a fresh spawn. I'm gonna die. I'm running away. Anyways, Several episodes later, they get up to Tizzy and they find a base. Now, I told them about this, so I mentioned it in one of these comment sections. If you'll find it somewhere's in one of these comment sections.
Yep.
I explain that I know what server you're on. I'm not going to ruin it for you. I left a present for you up near Tizzy, and later on they actually find it. I left him a repeater in a big military tent right in the corner of the map near Tizzy, and they found it. I was all happy. I was somehow connected
If
to
this
Mr.
is the
FT.
one, I love the start of it.
On my all-time best favorite series.
Sorry?
This is my all-time favorite series,
Yeah.
The Base Bandit.
He's got such an amazing FT. I remember saying this, and Brian Hicks agreed with me. FT is probably the best user of music in DayZ.
100%. I definitely took inspiration from how he does his videos. Badly did mine that way. Definitely 100% the way he does the music.
His music choices, he's amazing. Absolutely. Actually, he's on par with another guy who was fantastic with music, and that's Mr. Blackout. Mr. Blackout was amazing with. Oh God, my internet.
It's not playing for you.
No, but I just remember something happens, and he goes. It was basically when you were talking before about certain events make people take certain choices of action, and all I could think of was the Base Bandit with Super FT LOL, where he gets KOS'd or something like that, or people just keep on being douches to him, and he says, right, enough's enough, time to be like them, or something along those lines. And it was just brilliant. And that whole series, him and Toby, just phenomenal series. One of the true classics. And I've said it, I think I say it every single podcast, but FT is genuinely one of the most criminally undersubscribed DayZ content creators. He's amazing.
I think he should be on your spotlight, and maybe you could help him out with that, because he's way underrated.
I've done one on him.
Well, shit.
Way back when. I set myself the goal of doing the Holy Trinity of DayZ, which was the Running Man, Renee, and Super FT LOL. And I think I did them in that order, and FT made the joke of I saved the best till last. I still remember that. I still remember that.
You know, I probably watched it. I watched so many of your spotlights.
Yeah. And 30 interviews I've done. I went through, I realized I had all of the promos in there, so I removed them all. There it is, 1 hour 49. Oh no, I didn't say the best till last. Renee was the last one I did. Maybe it was Renee who said it to me. Yeah, I'm getting confused. But that never removed playlist. But I really miss those three doing videos together. The chemistry that they had was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not gonna lie. That's half of the reason I played on the Village as I did. Was because like I know that Renee played on there a lot, and the other guys occasionally would show up.
Yeah,
it's a great server community, still is, but definitely those guys. You're not wrong calling them Holy Trinity. You know, Minder should be up there too. Mindy's a very interesting character.
Minder could be very divisive, but I covered that in my interview with Minder. He attributed it to being Dutch. Apparently, Dutch people are quite salty at times. But I've got a lot of respect for Minder. He has done a lot for DayZ, and he is a consummate professional. Does as well. Some of his videos, the Brothers of DayZ was an amazing series as well. That if you haven't watched, but
I remember actually catching him on stream doing a live edit of a video. He was working on a video and he was just streaming him going through the whole process of doing the editing and and it was just like, wow, I'm not the only person that spends 8 hours in, Sony Vegas for a 10-minute video.
Last question, folks, and one that we want to hear from some of you in chat. Your favorite zombie movie? For me, Train to Busan, or Train from Busan. Have you seen that one, Fishy?
No, I haven't.
You have Netflix?
I do.
When you finish,
I'll have to check
if
it
you
out.
don't have anything on tonight, it's in South Korean, or sorry, in Korean, but it is literally one of the best, if not the best, zombie movie I've ever seen. They've just announced a sequel to it, set 4 years after the events in it. I don't know. I'm excited because they did such a good job with Train to Busan. Like, it's Hollywood level shit, mate, made in South Korea. And even with the subtitles, you still get so attached to the characters in it. Like, think, what's the one where they're in the shopping centre?
Dawn of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead, yeah. You know how you get kind of attached to the characters in that, but this one's even better. It's so attached to the characters in it, and it's just brilliantly. What's yours?
Well, I'd probably go with 28 Days Later, honestly, just because of the way they did the ragey zombies. I
Yeah.
thought it was very different compared to what most zombie movies would do.
Yep. No, absolutely amazing. Absolutely. Mate, I think we are done.
Well, it's been fun.
It has been, Fishy. We talked for about an hour and a half, which seems to be the average time for these things, mate. Mate, thank you so much for coming along. Hellfire, thank you for coming along as well. You are more than welcome to come back again next week, Fishy. Would love you to come back. And in the meantime, we'll try and come up with some topics for next week's show.
Cheers.
All the best, mate.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Catch you later.